All right. So I want to show you guys how they engage in, again, subliminal message of the whole bisexual, lesbian theme. So again, I'm on Facebook, and of course, I've never seen. I say they put it like this: they always find new people to engage in this sort of subliminal messaging. So, for example, let me just say this. So Pam came home. I had to call her because she's supposed to take my daughter to where she needs to be in the morning, so that she can go on her trip. So I was in the bathroom taking a bath. Came out the house. Came out the bath, out of the bathroom. Walked into the living room, and it's a good thing I looked down because as I was going to sit on the couch, I saw like two shoes, right? Well, black shoes, and it was right next to where my son was on his computer. And I asked him. I said, "Ethan, what are these doing here? Did you put these here? Are these your shoes?" He was like, "No." Then she says, "Hi, Nigel," and I'm like, "Oh, Pam." So didn't came in to say nothing at all. Right? She heard me come in from the bathroom, right? But now, so she's in my daughter's bed. She's sleeping in my daughter's bed. And also, like I said, "You're funny." I said, "You came in." I said, "Did you even wash your hands? Did you even change your clothes?" I just took off my pants, but I kept my shirt on, and I washed my hands. I was in the car. I said, "It doesn't matter. You come from outside, you know." So apparently, like I said, I tell her, I said, "I don't care," but what I don't like, and again, the disrespect is when I tell you, don't have me come here to babysit the kids, all right? But of course, you're gonna say, "Oh, you volunteered because you said that this and that and that." I said, "Yeah, whatever." I said, "The reason I know the reason why she called, right?" So all of a sudden now, her dinner tomorrow is canceled, right? Which they cancel that. So I guess but her date, she had a date tonight, what have you, and so that's what it is. And she thought that I was going to be, she's going to come in whenever. So when I called her, then she goes, "Oh, you know what? I totally forgot about Alyssa, trip tomorrow, and blah blah, and I got to get up early in the morning because I got to get up at 6 to because I have a hot cat tomorrow." And I'm like, "Okay, but you went out tonight, you were drinking, and you think you're going to get up in the morning to, I mean, it's like, again, what have you." But anyway, so what they love to do also, again, hijack my consciousness, go to Facebook, all of a sudden, there's like a post, a story will certainly pop up, right? And you'll see here, this is what I'm talking about. You see the hand signal? Start doing the hand signal. Right? So, again. I will be every kind of faithful. If you could show me all the way around, I will be very, very grateful. Very, very grateful. You make my worries fly away. And here's the thing, like, I don't really care, right? I don't really care if she is bisexual, lesbian, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. Apparently, she's not very proud of it because then she would have said something to me, right? Okay? Because you see, when people engage in the secrecy, and that's who she is. She's a narcissist, so the fantasy, the secrecy, stuff like that, the want to be more than more than who she is, the pretending, the lying, the cheating, all that stuff, right? And the hatred of men, right? The misandry. Again, based on her decisions. Okay? Not mine or anybody else. You hear the noise campaign? Because again, I'm just exposing what it is that they just did and what they're doing, right? So you hear the noise campaign and stuff like that. So anyway, as I was saying, yeah. So These are based on her decision. See, particularly black women today have been conditioned where they blame everything on black men. When they're in a good relationship, they leave for whatever reason because they feel like they're missing out, what have you. Then it doesn't work out. So now they hate men when they don't get what they want, or this particular person they were chasing after doesn't want them. All of a sudden they turn into men haters, and it is a psychological program. And I'm trying to get people to understand that. So what happens? The use of drugs, right, to engage in sexual activities, also same-sex activities, right? And when they are on those drugs, the experience of very heightened sexual experience, right, rewires their brain. Okay? You guys can read up about this. Okay? It is a rewiring of the brain when they're given, and I'm going to tell you this, okay? A lot of times, I should say, sometimes, I won't say a lot of times, but men and women are at fault. And there are men who would give women these drugs, and there are other women who would give other women these drugs because they have an agenda. It is to make people like them. Just like you have the white supremacists who want to make other white supremacists, you have Christians who want to make other Christians, you have Muslims who want to make other Muslims, and so forth, right? But what they're doing, particularly the white power structure in this country, the white elites, in terms of trying to separate and destroy the relationship between black men and black women, and having black women constantly blame black men for their bad decisions, for them not listening, without understanding that they've been conditioned to not to listen, not to want to hear the truth, not to want to see the truth that's in front of them. And so, and also because of the push in Christianity, and because, again, you got to have a deeper understanding of Christianity. Christianity is a death cult religion. It is a sacrificial religion. Okay? You have to understand that. Right? This is why you can have adults sitting in church for hours when then they have little kids and not worry about whether these kids are hungry or not, because they're busy, they're addicted to the worship, they're addicted to Jesus, right? And the further indoctrination of these young children into this death cult religion. But that's what it is, right? Islam is the same thing also. But here's the thing. There is a separation of within Islam, particularly when it comes to the Nation of Islam, right? Because the Nation of Islam focuses on black people and using Islam to correct the psychological conditioning of black people, to make black people aware of the war against them. So the Nation of Islam, yes, they are Muslims, right? But they offer a more realistic and a more helpful form of Islam for black people than just going to a mosque, let's say a Muslim mosque that is non-associated with the Nation of Islam. So though I'm not religious, don't believe in religion, like I said, for what I see the Nation of Islam have done for black people and their leaders, you know, and Christians would be like, well, look at such and such about. Let me tell you something. Like I said, Christians should not talk, particularly Catholics. They should not talk. The vast majority of Catholic priests are pedophiles. The vast majority of Catholic priests are rapists. The vast majority of Catholic priests are not celibate. Okay, they have sex with the nuns. They have sex parties. They have gay sex parties. They have orgies. This has all been documented. All right, so they shouldn't speak. Okay, any other form of Islam, there's always going to be, in every religion, there's going to be the extreme, the moderates, and those who say, well, I just don't read the Quran. I just have a relationship with God. That's it. So anyhow, but these are the type of things that that they try to do, and these are the type of subliminal messages they will try to send me. All right. So like I said, she comes in, don't even say hi, just takes off her clothes and go lay down in my daughter's bed. Puts her shoes, black shoes, in the living room, which I have constantly tell her there's a foyer, that's where your shoes goes. But they did it that way for a specific reason. All right, and I said to her, I said, what if Ethan got up out of his chair, because you know he doesn't see you on what's on the ground in front of him because it's dark, the lights are off, and he trips and he falls and he hurt himself. What if I didn't look down, tripped and hurt myself? But that's not the point. Is whatever subliminal message they try to send. Like I said, they try to do some narrative and try to hurt me. But what she's done, she don't understand, is she's hurting herself and she's hurting her children. Our kids are failing, right? Our kids don't clean up after themselves. My daughter will bring these slimes home and throw it over the place, and she would not even clean it up. Pamela, her mother, would not even make her clean up. I have to come here and do it. Me. Right? And somehow she thinks that she's punishing me for her decision. And I said, I said, if you are a black mother with a son, you need to warn your son about these and teach your son about the female narcissist. And if you are a mother, a black father or black mother, and if you are a black mother and black father, you have a daughter, you need to raise your daughter so that she, when it comes to her decisions, her sexuality, that she's making her own decision. All right. So, for example, when my daughter gets into her teenage years, one, she's going on birth control, whether she's having sex or not, and I will tell her not to have sex until she's ready for marriage, or until she finds someone who will respect her, okay, who will protect her, who will love her, and not just want sex. And I said, and if a person do, and you make that decision, then that's your decision. But I understand is that as men, particularly young men in this country, we are not taught how to value women the way we should. Women are not taught how to value men the way they should, particularly black people, black men and black women. So, birth control for her, because I have to let her know you're the one that's going to be carrying a child for 6 months if you get pregnant, and make her understand the war that's going on, that they use us as weapons against each other. They use anything, whether it be money, sexually transmitted diseases, drugs, sex, in terms of trying to make you sexually confused about who you are, those sort of things. Same thing with my son. All right, so you have to teach them from they are young these things, so that you can instill within them some wisdom in their young age, so they will make decisions that will benefit them. And as a parent, you also got to make decisions for them, particularly when they're children and teenagers. So there you go. All right. This post here that I post is very truthful and very telling. And it says, you got to be financially stable to date a broke woman, in shape to date a fat woman, and have no kids to date single mothers. The game is rigged. All true. But the game is rigged in many ways against us, particularly us black men. And so we have to understand this. And as a TI, as a black man, like I said, I have to speak on my issues, not just as a TI, target individual, but also as a black person, because my experience is not separate with being a TI and being a black man. It's not separate. All right? So talk to you guys in the next video.